Hi guys, it's a girl lilymutamztv, also known as Gelawapa Z, girl from Zambia. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe so that each time I upload videos, you will be notified that Gelawapa Z post sapoka video. Thank you so much for more than 60,300 subscribers. I am so grateful to you guys for the love, the support that you are rendering on this YouTube channel. I started this YouTube vlogging in January last year, and I've seen myself grow on this platform like a joke. But it just takes, obviously, the grace of God. So tell me where you're watching me from as you join this live stream. It's a girl, lilymutamztv, also known as Gelawapa Z. So I have a special guest. Her name is Liz TALMON, and she shares an amazing testimony. You know, when I talk about never giving up in life, you don't know your tomorrow. She is that type of a person that, demonstrates that God's power exists, that your faith is important. At the end of the day, it all depends on you. If you believe, you believe. If you don't, you don't. So you know the deal. We wait for at least 100 people and then we start the live stream. At least we do have 100 people watching us. Tell me where you're watching me from. Even if you're watching from Facebook, thank you so much for those of you who are streaming from Facebook. You can still comment, and I can see your comment here on my YouTube channel. I am blessed to have every one of you waiting for me to upload videos and to share such live streams. During this quarantine, a lot of people are going through hardships. And we need to also bring some positive messages that would encourage you about life and determination. And know that this season that we are going through right now, it won't last forever. Life goes on. So we have to talk about things that will build our lives rather than putting our lives down or discouraging us. So Larry says he is watching from the United States. Good to see you. Hi, Mo Pain. Good to see you. Hi, Auntie Winnie, amazing supporter. Hi, Virginia from Ireland. Good to see you, amazing sister. Yes, thank you so much. Those are my American subscribers. Thank you so much. So you can share the video as well on any of your platforms on YouTube. So I'll just make sure I let my guest that she should be coming on live shortly. Just in case she's still sleeping, but she's awake. So Lizzy is based in Germany at present, and her story is beautiful. I just can't wait for you to share, to hear what she has to share. And one thing about Lizzy, I knew her through Facebook, and I remember when she told me her testimony, I was always on her neck. You need to start YouTube. By then, I wasn't even a YouTuber. You need to start YouTube. You need to start YouTube. I was like, she was like, this one. Sorry, I'm just sending her the link to join. And she was like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I was like, you need to start a YouTube channel and share, your story. She's at the background. So Selda says, watching from Seychelles. Wow. Streaming from Chilawombwe. Fitzpatrick, I have a gift for you in Chilawombwe. Please email me beautifulyou533@gmail.com, because you're one of my supporters. There's two of you in Chilawombwe and Bright that always watch my videos and comment. I missed your name the other time, so please send an email. So I'll bring Lizzy on. Christine watching us from Zambia. So Liz is coming on now.
Hello. Hello. Can you get me clearly?
Very clearly. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay.
Good to see you. Which one is better? This one or the other one is better. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled.
It's amazing to see you here on my YouTube channel. People are watching from South Africa as well. You know, South Africa, if I don't mention them, they always ask, you didn't mention us. South Africa, I've seen you or you're watching. Yeah, so Lizzy, welcome to the lilymutamz YouTube channel. It's an honor to have you here. You look
I'm
beautiful.
humbled.
You look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you so much.
So I
Hope
just want
I'm not.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just want to allow you to introduce yourself. I'll give you the big screen. Just talk about yourself, just 1 or 2 minutes, and then we start going through everything about your life history. Some of you have been asking on Facebook, how do I meet someone abroad? This is what it's all about. I didn't want to make you guys excited, but I wanted you to first hear the story so you know that, you know, it is possible for you to meet, you know, someone of your dreams. At the same time, we don't want to overshadow the main purpose of this is to encourage you. So just listen to Lizzy just for a few minutes. Okay, Lizzy, I'll hide myself for a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you. So, hello guys. I'm Lizzy TALMON. My full names are Elizabeth Chilambe Mandaba. My mother was from Zimbabwe, and my father was from Zambia. I'm a Zambian. Was born in Lusaka in 1989, and I'm a mother as well of 3 boys, and married here in Germany. I don't have parents, so I'm a double orphan. That's what I'll say. And I did my school back in Lusaka and also in Mumbwa, that is Mamvule, not really in Mumbwa, but part of Mumbwa. So I think that's my introduction that I'll actually say. Then I think I'll wait for.
Okay. Lizzy, tell us about, you know, your background. My title says you worked as a maid. So talk about, you know, your life. What made you end up working as a maid? Was it circumstances? Tell us about your life.
Okay. Okay, first, before I go on the topic of a maid, I just want to emphasize and just tell people to say I'm a woman who loves to fight for things when I need things to be done in my life. So when I lost my mother, but my father in 1995, we actually located to the village of which that's where I actually grew up until I was 12 years. By then, 12 years, I had some old man who really wanted to like marry me and stuff like that. But I never wanted because I wanted to go to school. So thereafter, I ran away from my grandmother's village and went to Lusaka, where my mother was living. And I'm sure someone would want to ask, why did you go to your mother? It's because of that. This is why I'm trying to explain. So when I went to Lusaka to my mother was not living a very good life. She was, I can just say she was poor because the living situation was bad. So, I found myself to be a street kid because of my mother. The money that she was getting while she was working as a maid was too little. And hence I found my friends who who were also into that thing of street kids. They could go to pick up some food by the places like McDonald's, places like KFC. So there in Zambia, we could go and pick food where when people buy some food, we could just get the leftover things, then we just eat. So while I see how my life was, I told myself to say, I want to be educated. And I kept on telling my mother to say, even though you don't have money to take me to school, I just want to be educated. And thank God, one of my auntie who had a restaurant got me at that age, at the age of 12, got me, and I started working in a restaurant. So some people, they might know me from Chaisa, where my mother was living. And also some people might know me from Chilulu Garden, because people used to call me Iwakamwaiche, because I used to work in the restaurant where I used to go to school and also go back and work. Early in the morning, I have to go and make fire, put everything, then I go to school and come back. So one day, when I was about to write my grade 7, my auntie told me to say it is impossible for you to write your grade 7 because we don't have money to take you to school. So this is what made me, I was so angry inside of me. And I told my mother to say, Mommy, even though you don't have money, I feel like I should just come to you. And we should see what's the way forward. So that's how I told my auntie I cannot work anymore, because the money that I was getting was too little. It was only helping my mother. That money was just helping to pay for her rent, and the house that my mother was living in, it was too small. So, you know, God is so wonderful. And when you want something, He's always there for you. So my prayer was like, God, please, may you make a way for me, because looking at the way things were, like when I used to pick up food with my friends all the time, it's not like I wanted, but it's something that we wanted food. And you know, back home, people, it's not like they go to become street kids because they want, but because of situations that comes, beyond their thing. So that's what. So I went to my mother. By then I was 14 years, and I was about to write my grade 7. I was at Garden Open Community School. So while I was about to write my grade 7, I started praying. I said, God, I'm about to write my grade 7, but I don't know how you're going to make a way for me to go into grade 8. So my mother, she was a very prayerful woman. She went to the mountain while I was writing my grade 7. She went to the mountain for 1 month. Then when I finished writing, the last day I finished writing my grade 7, my spirit just told me to say, go and visit your auntie in Kanyama. And I followed that. So when I went to Kanyama, when I went there, I used to plait hair as well. So when I went to Kanyama, my auntie actually told me to say that there's a nurse who was the neighbor who wanted me to plait her hair. So when I was plaiting her hair, you know, I'm a person whereby I love to speak the truth, and I believe that the truth will always open up doors. So while I was plaiting the hair to this woman, then I shared my story. I said, I want to go to grade 8. I know that I'm going to make it because my grades were so good at school. I used to get good grades. So I told her I want to go back to school once my results are out, but I don't know. And can I work for you? So this woman told me to say, really, for me, I can't give you a job. But you know what? While I was at work, there is a woman who told me to say that there's a woman who lives in Chilenje. This woman is looking for someone to work for her. But I don't know if you can fit because you are too young. By then, I was 14. So I told her, please, I'm begging. Please, if you can only talk to her and find out if it's possible. Then that's when she said, okay, let me call and find out. So she called. And I told this sister for my boss, the very person that I work for. So she told her to say, this girl, she just wrote her grade 7 and she wants a job. So I went, they said, okay, you can let her come. So I went to this woman. I'm so humbled that this woman was so good and she really understood what I actually presented to her. So I told her, I've just done my grade 7 and I know that I'll make it. I want to go back to school. So she said, if you want to go back to school, so why do you want to come and work as a maid? So I said, I can promise if I can work for you for 5 months so that I can raise money, then go back to school. Then she said, how do you know if you're going to pass your grade 7? I said, I know that I'm going to pass. So she said, okay, let's see. She was working at the airport. Even now, she's still working at the airport. So, so when she said, okay, let's see how you're going to work. And I promised myself, I said, God, I'm going to do whatsoever it takes for me to just find favor in this house. You know, whereby you have been living a life, whereby the house where you're living in Chaisa, it's not so nice. And you find yourself in a place whereby there's a bathroom inside, everything. You feel like you're in heaven. So I told myself, I was like, God, this is just heaven for me. I know you have brought me in this house for a purpose. So I worked less than a month. The results came out. So my friends started calling to say, oh, Liz, we have just seen you have passed all this and this. So, you know, the school where I was a Catholic school.
Yeah.
So the sister from that school, when I went to pick up my results, she told me, we want to take you to Kasisi. So I was like, oh, I can't disappoint my boss. They have been so good and they have told me I should bring the results. So I said, okay, let me first talk to my mother. I will come back to you, sister, because she was also good to me, the sister to that school. So when I went back and presented my results, my boss told me to say, oh, wow, these are actually good results. We are going to take you definitely to school. I cried and I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. So they took me to Chilenge Basic School. So some people might know me from that place, Chilenge. And while I was at Chilenge school, I used to wake up in the morning, work, then I go to school. Sometimes I would sleep in school. You know, sometimes when you're working as a maid, it's not so easy. Whereby sometimes I would doze in class, people would laugh at me, oh, she's a maid or what, but I knew what I wanted. I kept on praying to say, God, I want to finish my school. So then I wrote my grade 7 and went to secondary school. You know, there's something that I want to encourage someone. When favor is upon your life, God will still open up doors and locate you. The only thing you just need to be humble and also speak the truth in everything that you do. So when I passed my grade 9, I passed. I was supposed to go to Lusaka High School. Then my boss told me to say, Liz, you know, I had a very good understanding boss. The husband was so good. So he actually sat me down and he told me, Liz, look, this school where you have passed, where you need to go to, it's very far and we can't like promise you that we can give you transport money. We can't. So we want you to go to Chilenge High School, because by then Chilenge High School, it was just a new high school, like people never wanted. So I was like, it was so difficult for me to accept. But I said, okay, let the will of God prevail. I said, God, I don't know why you're taking me to this school. So I went. The very first week when I just went to that school, I remember in class, most of the time, they used to bring these papers where they say you have to write whether you have lost your mother, your father. So I said, let me try and write something. So I wrote to say I don't have a father. So by the end of the week, we were called. And I was like, oh, let's go for the interview. So I didn't know that in the interviews that I was going for, they wanted to sponsor people to pay for their school fees. So when I went for the interviews, when I went for the Faweza, I think you know Faweza, yeah?
Yeah, Faweza, yes. Yeah, Faweza.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when I went for the interviews, this woman, she interviewed me and asked me where are my parents. I said, oh, my mother is living in Chaisa, but I don't have a father. And they asked me, who are you living with? I said, I'm working. So she was like, wow, working and coming to school. So I started explaining further just to let her know the situation. So when I explained, she became so interested in me, and she told me to say, okay, I'll come back to you. So later on, when she came back to me, she told me to say, we want to give you the bursary, but we are not going to let you continue working because we can't let you do this. We want you to look for a place where you can stay. So it was so hard. I said, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Because now I have to tell my boss. I shared with my boss what has happened to school, and they told me to say, okay, it's fine. We can release you. We can let you go. But I didn't know where will I go and stay, because by then the school was very far. If I were to go and stay with my mother, still it was going to be very far. So I was I was walking somewhere that I met one of my relatives who told me to say, Ewe, uliko iwe. I was like, Iwe uliko is in English, Iwe, you are around. I said, oh yeah, I'm around. I'm actually living at this place, this and that. So she told me to say, you should come. You have been here in Chilenge. We're actually living here in Chilenge. You should actually come so that we can talk, this and this. So I said, oh my God, I think this is the way for me to live here while I can do my school, because she was my relative. So that's how I actually went there and told them about the situation that I was in. And they said, okay, you can actually come and live with us. Since you have school fees, they'll be paying for you and stuff like that. So I accepted and started living with my auntie by then. So I lived with my auntie from grade 10 until grade 12. The moment I just finished my last paper, she told me to say, you can go to your mother now that you have written your grade 12. And by then, at Chilenge High School, I was the head girl. And I thank God for having that position, because it gave me a lot of opportunities to have access to books. And also I used to get paid for being a head girl by that time. So sometime my mom used to bring me some groundnuts. Most people, they know me that way. I used to sell some groundnuts while I was in school. And yeah, I wasn't ashamed of my mother. And this is one thing I kept on telling my friends, that you don't have to be ashamed of your mother. Even though your mother comes in tropicals and whatsoever, just be proud of where you come from. So, and when I finished my school, my auntie told me to say, you have to go. I was like, okay.
Wait, so at that point, you had finished your grade you had grade 7.
Grade 12.
For grade 7, it was a miracle. Grade 9, a miracle. Grade 12, you had passed.
Yeah.
And your auntie told you to leave the house.
Yeah.
And
so
you expected to go where? Where did she want you to go?
To my mother. So while I was, that day when she told me I have to go, I told her to say, okay, I want to finish up clearing some books so that I can leave everything. Then I can go to my mother. So she was not understanding, but I said, it is well. I went to my friend's place. I lived there for a week until I cleared everything. Then I went to my mother. So the day I went to my mother, the spirit told me, go to the MAID center. Because I saw this post, MAID center in town, in Cairo Road, there's a MAID center, Rozak MAID center. So I just said, let me just obey to this, because my spirit just kept, go to the MAID center. Since your mother is there, but she's not doing anything, it was so hard, because my mother used to get sick of legs, like she had a lot of problems, So I went to that MAID center. The very day I went, then I was told there are people who want someone to work. God works wonders. He's just God. The very same day I was told, there's MTN boss who wants someone to work for them and stuff like that. So I said, okay, they'll pick out of the 5 people, they will have to pick one person. So I actually went for the interviews, and when we went for the interviews, they picked 2 people. They said, okay, you have to go again for another interview. The wife has to pick you up so that they can see who is who. So I went for this interview, then said you should come on Saturday. So we went on a Saturday by the lodge where they called us. Then after that, I was picked. So for me, my job was to clean, and there was another person who was working as a chef, and there was another person who was working with children. But God can change tables, can just turn around things. So for me, I was a living inmate, and the other ones, they used to go home. So the children bonded with me. There was
where was that? Was that in Lusaka?
That was in Lusaka, Before they relocated to Tanzania.
Okay, all right.
So in Lusaka there, that job, I started working patiently, and they said, no, I think now we have to change you. Instead of you working cleaning and stuff, you have to put you to be working with the children, because we see the children loves you, and there's a big difference. So I started working with the children. And when I started working with the children, my boss got a job, Vodafone, like they were supposed to relocate to Tanzania. So that's how I found myself in Tanzania, because when they got a job, they asked me to say, would you love to come with us? So I said, because, when they asked me, I remembered my mother had a dream that I was married in a country where they don't speak English. So To me, I said, Tanzania, I'll get a man. I'll get a man.
So Tanzania was when you had limited yourself in
Yeah,
Tanzania, and that
yeah,
was your final destiny in your
yeah.
dreams. You didn't aspire and
Yeah, because my mother had a dream. So I started reminding her, mommy, you remember you had a dream telling me that I was married in a place where they don't speak English. In Tanzania, they don't speak English. They only speak Swahili. So I told her, let me go. Because her friends were like, you can't let her go because in Tanzania, there's a lot of witchcraft. So I said, no, mama, you just have to let me go. So that's how I went to Tanzania. And there in Tanzania, I started having boyfriends and stuff like that while I was working. And that's how I also contracted the HIV, which I actually shared with you.
that's
But
where,
God.
wait, that's where I wanted everyone to get the story.
Yeah.
So Lizzy had moved from Zambia, got to Tanzania, and found herself with boyfriends, and she contracted HIV/AIDS. Now, for her, that was the end of her life. I'm done. I have HIV. I've been diagnosed with HIV. That's where the testimony of Lizzy starts, actually. But because obviously she needed to explain a little bit about her background, where she was, because some people will be asking, where did you grow up from? And we can't be going back and forth. Now, Lizzy, explain what happened after you discovered that you were HIV positive.
It's not easy. It's like, you know, it's most of the time when you are the one in the shoes, that's when you understand to say, okay, this is real. But when you are not in the shoes, when you, the people who can say, HIV, it's normal to accept. It's not easy. It's not easy, honestly. Yeah. Because for me, when I was told that I was HIV, I wanted to kill myself because I started thinking, oh my God. Because I looked at the place where I was working with the children, and I said, how will it, like, if my boss finds out, maybe they'll chase me. I said, it was just a battle. I started crying all the time, like in my room. I started crying, and they tell me to say I have to start taking the medicine. It was not so easy for me also to take the medicine. You know, I was in self-denial. It's so like, no, God, I can't. So that was the time when I started to, I actually started repenting. It was like a journey for me to repent, to tell God, to say, God, I've slept with this person and this person and this person and this person. I can't even count how many I've slept with. But all I can say is, God, forgive me. I started crying like Hannah. You know, whereby sometimes I'm working with the children, I look at them, I feel each conquer, like you feel, oh my God, what will happen? Yeah. But I kept on taking care of myself, just to avoid, so that the children, they don't get anything like from me. And the other thing that also scared me a lot, because when my boss found out that my other workmate was also HIV positive, they chased her promptly without even waiting. So it was something that also I was like, oh my God, what will happen if my boss finds out? It's like, I have to go, and I don't know what is next. So I started.
People are feeling sorry for you, but they don't know the testimony. The testimony is coming. I know you think she ended on the HIV diagnosis and it ended there. She's about to share that. Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
So you were scared that obviously you would lose your job as well, because the other lady has a job, and at this particular moment, you didn't know to tell your boss the truth or to keep it away from her. And then obviously you were ARVs. How did you manage to hide them?
What happened, because we used to have a driver. The driver used to drive me to most places. When I tell him to say, take me to this place, he used to drive me there. When I tell him to say, take me to the hospital, he used to drive me there without my boss actually knowing what was actually happening. So this is the kind of life that I was living. I was living in fear, but I shared with my workmate, because we used to have the security guards. I shared with other people who knew my situation. You know, when you're working with people, you need also to be closer to those people. The fact that I was in a foreign land, I was too good to the people that I was working with, and also the neighbors. And this is because the other thing I want to share with you. I think I'll just share after speaking about how God healed me. Then I'll share how
you can share in the. That's why we are here.
Okay.
to encourage people, no matter your situation, God is faithful. I know some of you have your own beliefs of religion, but Lizzy has a powerful testimony. Tell us about what happened for your HIV to disappear.
Yeah, so the first thing, I was dating first a pastor, of which I shared. While I was dating the pastor, I was also dating some other men. So this one, I can't lie to say I was so unfaithful. I was a person who was sleeping around with men. So the pastor, I shared with him to say, oh, look, this is my situation. He actually told me to say it is over between you and me. The pastor was actually from Zambia. So for him, he said it is done. Yeah. And I also shared with the other boyfriend that I had also there in Tanzania. He told me that's none of my business, this and this. So I said, it is well, it's okay. But then this was the time when I became so glued with Emmanuel TV. I started praying, whereby when I go in my 7th quarter, I will start praying, crying. You know, all the chikonko which you have during the day, you are working, then you go in your room. That's where you face, that's where life starts to say, okay, now I need, So I started praying and watching Emmanuel TV. I asked for forgiveness from God and everything else. So I had a dream that I was in Nigeria in the church synagogue. Then that dream that I had, the man of God called my name. So when he called my name, I ran. So I was like, oh my God, he's calling my name. So he told me to say, go to the hospital. God has forgiven you. He has seen you through. Go back. You are healed. Amen. So when I woke up, I shared with my friends, the ones I was working with. Then they said, do you think so? So I said, I told the driver, please take me to the hospital. So I went to the other hospital. The one where I tested, I went there as well. Then they tested me. They were also shocked to say, because they got the blood from here.
HIV what?
Positive. Now it was positive by then. Then next day I became negative.
Negative, So you went to self-tested and you found yourself HIV positive before, and then you went back and you had HIV negative.
Yeah.
Now we need to clap for God. Wow.
Yeah. So by then I said, oh my God, this can only be God, because I started connecting how I was praying, I was crying and everything else. Then we went to another. I said, okay, the driver told me, let's go to another hospital so that we can verify this. So we went to Mikocheni. By then it was the other one in Msasani. Then we went to Mikocheni. Then again, we went to 4 hospitals and we want to verify if it's true that it's negative. So because the workmates, they understood my situation, the one I was in. So they said, please, let's do it. So we went, and when it was negative indeed. Then that's how I started praising God. I started saying, God, that day, that was the day I told myself, okay, I'm sorry to say I don't want black men, but I told myself, this time around, God, the man that you will give me, that will be my husband, that I will sleep with. I'm not going to sleep around, not until I meet my husband. So life started again. Then just a few months from then, my boss.
So you stopped taking your ARVs at that time? Like
I stopped. I stopped completely. Yeah, nothing. I didn't take anything.
A miracle. Now that's a miracle. Honestly, from HIV positive. What, girl? I gotta clap. This is powerful.
It's God. This is why all the time I praise God.
I was HIV, and you're negative.
I'm negative.
Wow.
Yeah.
Carry on. Wow.
So after that, then I had a friend from Uganda. We used to go like once in a while when I have free time. We used to go to the beach. So she told me to say, you know what? All the time, your workmates, they like to call you, oh, mke wa mzungu, like a wife to a white person because of my color all the time. So they said, there's a woman who I know. She has a dating site of which they can come and take photos of you, and then you can get to have a white person. So when I went to this woman, she got photos of me, but it did not work. And Yeah, so before I actually started this journey, I actually went to, there's a pastor from Ghana who gave me a prophecy. This man spoke into my life.
You met the pastor from Ghana where?
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah.
Just wait there. Do you know the power of social media? Yeah. And some of you people will use social media to joke around. She met a pastor through Facebook. What did he tell you?
So the pastor he actually started speaking into my life. He told me to say, do you know that you are favor? So I said, I don't understand what you are telling me. He said, my dear, let me just tell you, you are the pillar in your family. God has picked you. Yeah, he told me God has picked you. And he told me to say, do you know what? I want to tell you, I'm seeing you out of that place where you are. I'm seeing you out of this Africa. You are not going to live there. So I was like, this man, what is he talking about? You know, when the people start speaking things that looks impossible to start. So I was like, so he tells me, I'm seeing a white man. This man, like right now, he told me to say, this man has got a family, and this you are going to be the helper of this man, because I see this man is going through some things that he does not understand. And so I was like, okay, let God's will prevail, because for me, I don't know. I said, I receive it. So he told me a lot of prophecies that he spoke. He's even told me to say, I'm seeing you helping orphans and stuff like that. So I wrote down all the prophecy. I wrote down, then I said, oh, let me just pick up my baby. Just a moment.
I'll just pause it as well. Okay. Lizzy is a child, but this is what I talk about. We serve a miraculous God. I know some of you here have different beliefs, but this is somebody who's HIV positive and is now negative. And then her friend tells her, there's a betting title. She tried, it didn't work. She has no hope. Her family is poor. She works. If you listen to the places she's talking about, these are places that nobody would even be proud to say they come from this place. But that's where she was coming from. And then what happened? She meets a friend who tells her there's a dating site. Now that's where her story also. You see, many times I say social media is a tool that can change your life. It can make you, it can break you. So you can choose to joke around on social media, whatever. Like I would say, YouTube has changed my life to the point that I've met people from all walks of life, different countries, Jamaica, Barbados, you name it. I think people that I never expected have ever met. So Liz is back now. So let's carry on with the story. God is almighty, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, we wanted to surprise that Liz. We wanted to surprise you that Liz has children later, but you can hear. And one of the miracles that Liz has is twin boys. I want twins as well, so
I bless you. Receive in Jesus' name. Yeah. So, so after that prophecy, I wrote it down. Then I continued with my work. Just a few months while I was working, my boss, I traveled to Zambia, but I overstayed. So when I overstayed, my boss was so angry. Yeah, was so angry that why did I overstay? Because I have to take care of the children. So when I came back, then she told me to say, we can't take care, we can't keep you anymore. Then that's how they told me you have to go back to Zambia. So this is where when you are friendly with people, that's because I had workmates who were so closer to me, and the neighbor also. The neighbor actually, she knew me because I used to dance all the time. When I'm outside, I could dance, and she used to ask me to pray with her, because there was a time when the husband was so sick. So she asked me to say, please, we want you, can you come to pray with us? So I went to pray with her. So when I told her to say, my boss has asked me to go back to Zambia, they said, no, you can't just go like that, you have nothing. So my boss bought a ticket. They gave the driver the money to buy a ticket, to say 05 you have to go. So they got my passport, everything, say we don't want you to go to your friends or other thing. So they told me you have to go back to Zambia. So the driver, I was friends with the driver. So I told the driver, instead of you buying that ticket, go and buy a fake ticket and get the money for yourself. Because so for him, we went and buy a fake ticket, and came back and give them. They waited until 04. They called the taxi driver who came and also say, okay, you have to take Lizzy now to the station. For me, deep down, I knew that I was going in the neighbor's house, because the neighbor welcomed me when I shared my story. So the neighbor, so 04, the driver picked me up, then went round and took me back to the neighbor, of which I had not gone back to Zambia. So in that place, that's where now life started. And we started praying with this neighbor. The neighbor was so friendly to me because I was so friendly with them. And also the workmates, the ones I was used to work with, they used to come and visit me. Then I had found also another part-time job. So while I was using my laptop all the time, I like use Facebook. So something popped on my Facebook, like Afro Introduction. This is a dating site. So Afro Introduction popped. So when it popped, I said, oh my God, because in my heart, something kept on coming to say that prophecy that I was given, I need to get married to a white man. So when it popped, then I said, okay, let me check what this is. So I entered everything, I started searching. So there in the night, I'll search and whatsoever. So while using Afro Introduction, then I also met scammers. I also met now my husband, who, scammers are there. They will scam you. They will tell you to say, oh, I'll send you money and stuff like that, of which is not true. So when this day, when my husband wrote me a message, he asked me, what do you do for a living? So I told him the truth. I wrote, he just told me, tell me about yourself. I want to know you. So I wrote him to say, I'm a maid by profession. And the only thing I can just tell you is that I come from Zambia. I told him all my past and everything. My mother, I lost my mother by then. My mother had died in this period. So I told my very husband everything. So he was like, wow. Oh my God, this is something that I'm proud of, because most of African women, when you ask them, they'll tell you something that is not true. So that's when he told me to say, I'm very much interested in you. So he shared also his story about how he has children, and also he shared with me that depression, because he was also going through depression by then. So when he shared with me all those things, then I knew in my heart to say, this is the one. Whereby when something is yours, you feel it inside you to say, this is the one. So when I chatted with him, then he told me, I want you to go back to Zambia. So, God, Lily, God is God. So when I went back to Zambia, I lost communication with him.
Really? Really?
I lost communication. I went back to start working as a maid. Then, so I went back. I met this woman who used to pray with. She's now in New Zealand. Then she told me, Lizzy, what are you doing? I said, I'm not doing anything. But I told her the truth. Oh, I had this white man that I met on the internet. White man, hope he's not a scammer. I said, no, I know he's not a scammer. But this man, I just shared, I said, this man, I think there's just something that has happened. I'm sure. So she told me to say, okay, while you are waiting for your man, can't you come and work for me, because I need your help? So that's how I started working for her. Then she told me, Liz, your school results, where are they? I said, I have them, they're at home. Then she told me, no, Liz, Then when she saw her results, then she compared with her. She said, Liz, these are good results. Look at these merits and credits. I can't just keep you like this. So she told me, I want to motivate you. I want to take you to school. That's how she applied for me at Eva in Horn College. Then I started my school secretarial part-time in the night. So while I was doing my school, like 7 months, then my husband comes back and
oh wow. Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. A lot of people you know, you can use the volume of their music.
Okay.
Because it will copyright my stream. YouTube is crazy when it comes to copyright. Okay. Yeah, because YouTube is copyright. They can copyright the stream. If you can come off, it needs to be off. The volume is still there on his phone.
It's still. Wait, you have the tablet, yeah? Okay, that's off. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know when you were talking about you're married, you have a husband.
Yeah.
Let's leave you for now. Let's leave you for
just
now.
A moment. Yeah, just a moment.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen your comments. Most of you are saying, "Oh, is marrying a white man a miracle?" But I think you have missed the whole point of the story, and the basis of the story is that this is somebody who was struggling, who had HIV, and was living as a maid, and her friends, you know, this is somebody who tried everything, had dated so many men, and her friend told her about a dating site which that started because they've given up on life. Probably in the community where they did, the men knew them. Those girls, they are finished. You don't know. So when she said the man, is a miracle, it doesn't necessarily mean that is her savior of her life. No, it's just her saying the man showed up just like prophecy. To her is a miracle. We need to learn to also respect that what you see is a miracle is not my miracle. We are all different people. Like I've said myself before. I say, look, I've met men who are millionaires. I don't aspire to date a millionaire because you are lonely in that path. They have so many women out there, So they're not necessarily trying to tell you marrying a white man is the ultimate goal of life. No. It's her story of where she came from being a maid to now being a breadwinner. She will tell you her story, but she's the one who even works hard. We had another millionaire on my YouTube channel, Caroline Masha. People, it's because she has a white man. But when you listen to her story, she's the one who started the business and not this one. So we are very quick at, all these things of judging people because this person. We can't force people to like what you like. Like me personally, when I was growing up, I always used to say, I want to get married to a white man. And my mom told me off. And you know why I wanted to get married to a white man? Because of the curly hair. I liked the way the curly hair looked. I just felt I would have a baby that I would be playing with the hair. Not like I adore white men. And coming to Britain, do I have a white man? No. I don't even want to date one. But to somebody, that's their vision. That's their desire. So we got to respect people if that's what they love. At the end of the day, it's just the color of the skin. You understand? It's just the color of the skin. Sorry, I don't know why I say my audio is not working. Sometimes it takes time to pick up. Okay. Yeah, so she's back now. Yes, Jason. I don't aspire to marry a rich man. That's a story for another day, Jason. Come on. Okay, we'll carry on. she's back now.
Okay. So
you can carry on with the story.
Yeah, so when I was there at even when I started school.
Is because a lot of people were asking this question about, is having a white man a miracle? It seems it's like an achievement, it's a testimony. But I was explaining to everybody, like, look, everyone has their choice. We can't choose, and this is the reason why we're even having these problems where we're saying,
yeah,
black should marry black. Yeah. So anyway, talk about your story.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. So
carry on getting reconnected
yeah.
with your.
Yeah. So because when we are not having communication, I used to go for prayers. We used to go to the mountain. Like when I'm off, I go to the mountain to pray. And so I met another man of God who also started telling me to say, you know what? I'm seeing this white man, but I don't know why I keep on seeing this white man. Then I started crying. I said, that's my husband. I started calling him my husband even before he came back, like to come and marry me. So I told this man of God to say, that's my husband. So I said, this man, yes, he's the man that God has actually spoken to say he's going to be your man. So he gave me to say, 1 week from now, you should pray and fast. You will see the following week what will happen. So that week when I fasted, that was at the end of the week, that's when I actually received a mail from him telling me, oh, Liz, I'm back. I hope you have not yet found another man. So I told him, say, no, I did not find another man. I'm here. I'm now working and doing something. So he told me to say, okay, I'm here in hospital because my husband was suffering from depression, of which he also went into a psychiatric hospital. That's where he was. He lost everything. He became jobless. Like he was a headmaster. Then after that, he lost that job. So I started encouraging him when.
Lizzy, wait there, Lizzy.
Yeah.
Did you just hear what she's saying? And that's why I wanted you to listen to our side because people they think the music have to mute it. It will copyright my stream. Okay, so you've just heard what she said about her husband. He had depression. He had problems. Now, most people would want a white man with money. That's where your question comes in. Somebody who's got money because this person is going to change their destiny, change their life. But she met somebody who had challenges, broke. The dude had no money. He was facing a lot of challenges. And she decided to start encouraging him. Probably meeting her on a dating site was also his solution. Who knows? God used her to for him to be where he is today because of her. But I'll allow her to share the story. Sometimes you may understand, people's choices in life, and we gotta respect that because then if we carry on with this, that's how now we start saying, "No, this person is this." We saw our lady who was very proud on my YouTube channel, the video, who is married to a Chinese man, and she protected and she defended the man. That's her choice, But in this case, Lizzy never married a rich white man. She married a man who was finished and broke. So she will share the whole story. She's back now. He was broke. That's the man she married. So there's what you call true love, and there's also love where you want to get out of the situation. So I'll let her summarize quickly because our streams are usually for now.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You can hear me now.
Okay, Lizzy. Yeah, sorry, because what happened when we're doing live streams and there's this copyright our stream.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so that's why. Okay, carry on. So you met him, he had nothing, and you decided to
Yeah. Like he was depressed. He had, you know, my husband was divorced. Then he had found a woman from Uganda. That was the time that he went into depression. So the things did not work out. The relationship did not work out. Yeah, but he had children with this woman. So yeah. So when he was in that situation of the depression, he told me, "Oh, look, I've lost everything. I don't even have a job and stuff like that." So I kept on encouraging him. And you know, back home, when people hear that you are dating a white man, they think he's a millionaire and everything else. They expect you to be looking nice and stuff like that. So for me, those are the things I was not sharing. Yeah. So people could ask me, "Why do you look like this? Why do you are dating a white man?" You know, in school, at even in Hona, people were laughing at me and stuff. So I said, "You know what? You don't know what I'm going through. So the only thing you can pass your comment, for me, I stand in the gap for my husband to be healed, because by then he was not completely healed. So I could stand in the gap for him to be okay." So after that, I had another prophecy that the man of God gave me to say, "I'm seeing this man getting a job." So I shared with him. I told him to say, "My pastor has told me to say you're going to have a job." So he told me, "How am I going to have a job? Because here I'm bankrupt. And now, you know, when you lose a job after depression, it's not easy to put you back," because he was the headmaster then. So he said, "Okay, Liz," then he told me, "I met a woman in the train. And this woman told me to say she was actually advising me to say I can actually get a job. So I've written down the application in Berlin." By then he was in Bonn, in another province. So he said, "I've written an application in Berlin." So I said, "Okay, we'll stand in the gap." We've started praying for him so that he can get accepted as a teacher in Berlin. So when we prayed, he went for the interviews and everything went well. Then that's how I got his job back as a teacher for mathematics and other subjects in a secondary school teacher. Yeah. So in that moment, that's when we planned about getting married. And while we're planning and everything, because he used to come, like he used to get free, like here in Germany, when you're sick, you get some free money. So he used to get a little bit of some free money, but that money, he was living in a garage, of which he used to bath in the fitness studio and save up some money, because I understood his life. We could do video calling. He shows me the place where he was living and he shows me everything. He was just transparent, and I could encourage him to say, "One day everything will be fine. This will be a story for you." Yeah. So all the time we keep on encouraging each other. So we married. To cut the story short, we married. Yeah. So when we got married, I came here in Germany. I found that my husband had nothing. You know, the money that
wait. You went to Germany. You marry or you go? Your level will change.
I'm telling you.
You fly plane. Only to find you married a man who is broke. Hey,
my dear.
You are a true African ganga woman. Once you're looking for a man that will solve the problems of their life, you married I salute you.
I come in Germany, I find my husband has got 2 plates. I look around, I find
2 plates.
And my friends were calling me like with video calling. They want to see, you know, you come to Germany, they want to see where you're living. Oh my God.
Zambia people, too much.
My Jesus. I only shared with my sister. I said, "My sister, let me not lie to you. Let me just tell you the truth where I am. But don't worry, I am fine. It is well." So
because you see why the prophet landed you.
Let me tell you one thing. I want to encourage someone. Prophecy, God will speak in your life, but he will not tell you the journey. You know, the journey he won't tell you to say, "This is what you're going to face." When you are given a prophecy, it's up to you to use wisdom on how you have to listen to the voice of God. So for me, when I found my husband, I had friends who could tell me, me, I can't live with a man. The very same week I started working 4 jobs. And I was so lucky that I found cleaning jobs. 4 jobs. 4 jobs. Everyone was laughing at me. She's working as a maid. She's a cleaner, married to a white man, cleaning and stuff. I told my husband, I said, give me just a few months. You see how this house is going to change.
So you basically found an empty house, and you turned the house around with your money.
Yeah. So
that you worked as a cleaner in Germany.
Yeah. So like when I came,
before they started when I bring people to my, I know the type of people I'm bringing, because you're expecting the man is rich.
So when I came, like my husband was working and giving out all his money, like he gives out because of the other woman that he had and the divorces and other things. So this is why he never had money to just fix on himself. So, but when I started working these 4 jobs, I told him to say, the same very week, God is just so marvelous. The landlord was so, he felt like, no, you can't be staying with this woman in just a small room. Then he gave us a fully furnished apartment, which was just a 1-bedroom, bathroom, and just open kitchen and the what. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. It was like all the things were not ours. So because the landlord saw the situation for my husband, so he was feeling so like, oh no, it's better we give this. So that's how he gave my husband to say, you'll be living in this apartment. So we started living in that apartment, and I was feeling a little bit comfortable, But I kept on working. I told my husband, I said, these things are not ours. We need to have our own things. So I started working 4 jobs. Some jobs were like private. Some jobs were like I have to pay tax and stuff like that. So I worked so hard. I could work throughout to make money, so that when I make money, I share with my friends. I say, look, I've bought a TV. Oh my God, look, I've bought this. Yeah.
And the thing is, what some people wouldn't understand is that, in the diaspora, you can do any job and you can afford a decent life, and I applaud you for your confidence in doing any odd job, regardless of the fact that you had just traveled from Zambia to Germany. This is supposed to be your greener pasture, but then you do any job. So that's very good. And then so summarize your story, because we've done our one.
Just to summarize the story, like before I came to Germany, I also started the things for the orphans. So because I've explained how I was a street kid and everything, so my heart wanted to do something for the orphans. So that's how I started also the project for the orphans. And also I started also to save up money for my own private thing, because I want to do something back home. So some people will say, oh, it's because of a white man. No, whatever you are doing, it's because of what you want to get. You work for it. Like you said, the car that we have outside, I worked for it. And some people were like, it's not possible. I worked hard for it.
This is a Zambian woman. We don't wait for nobody.
You work hard, because most people, they don't know the kind of life that we are living here in Europe. Yes, there are people. For me, I'm not such a kind of, some people, they say when you're living in diaspora, you live a diva life, or you show off. For me, I work, I save, I build. I work, I save, I want a car. I save, I do this, I do. So that's how my life is all about. I also help my family members. I do whatever I can, because it's also part of my life. But sometimes the family members, they overuse us, because they think we just make with people whatsoever. So this is one thing they need also to feel like it's not like about us just giving. We also want to receive. So this is what is
the orphanage. Is it like an orphanage, or do you just help an orphanage. You built one? Have you built one?
We are actually building a school, 3x1 block, of which we started is also in the window level.
Okay.
And the pupils, like the orphans, the ones that we have, they are in Kabanana, some in Kanyama, some in other places. But the school we are building in Chisamba, because I went, I met the chief, and in that place, you know, Chisamba is not so far from Lusaka, but that place has got no school. And the chief was telling me to say, how can you build an orphanage when there's no school in this place? You think other people will be happy that you're only concentrating with them? So I said, this school is going to be a community school. It can't be only an orphanage. It has to cater everyone. So that's what is happening.
So you're building a school in Kisamba.
Yeah.
Wow. Like,
so that's the thing.
How many classrooms or just a few classrooms?
We started with the 3x1.
Okay.
That's what, so we said we do step by step, because, you know, also raising money for building a school, I have to cook, sell some food and stuff like that. So it fundraise. It's not so easy. People will see, oh, she's building a school, it has to be done there and then. No. Sometimes we also, the pupils that we have that are in school, we also sacrifice, we use our own money, and sometimes we are broke, we're like, we don't have in the thing for the orphans, but we have to sacrifice because the children have to go to school. So that's what is happening.
Lizzy, with your project with the school, would you want to step in and support the project?
Yeah, I feel people, I can't do anything by myself alone. I feel if there's anyone who wants to like support.
We can do a separate stream on that. Provided I see the pictures, we talk about it, and obviously that would be good, because a lot of people might want to support your project. And
thank you
I
so
love
much.
the fact that you've looked at where you're coming from. Some people say, Baba, Baba to Baba. I don't care. My life has changed now. But for you to even think of building a school and helping your orphans, that's something very inspiring. And that's why I call you a breadwinner.
Thank you so much.
Then, as long as you have lots of people under your belt that depend on you, you're a breadwinner of your family. And I know you've helped your family renovate their house. I've seen the pictures. So thank you so much for coming on this stream. If anyone has a question, and if you want to add anything, Lizzy, let me know. Let me also click on some questions. Okay. People are saying very inspiring. But we can just add what we want to tell people about, you know, the power of God and faith, and summarizing your life.
Okay, so for me, just to summarize everything, I just want to encourage people to keep on having faith. Faith is the major thing that every person needs to have. It's not about just depending on prophecy, but it's about when you pray, you need to understand to say, what I've prayed for, God is there to answer. So for me, I didn't even share about how I also conceived my twins. It was all about being laughed out and whatever. But it's all about, I have 3 boys. I have 3 boys, and the first was a set of twins. And I have another boy after the twins. So I just want to encourage the women and also some people who are not seeing light out of that darkness that you are in. Don't give up in life. Yes, you might not be there where people are expecting you to be, but for me, some people, they'll say, she's poor or whatever, she's not there. But for me, when I look back to a place where I could pick food, eat what some people have eaten from, that for me, I will say it's a big testimony that I can give now that I'm here, I'm having my family, and this is what makes me to dance every day and remember others, to say, if God, all the time when people approach me, I tell them, if God can do it for me, then he will still do it for yourself. I have friends who are here in Germany. They all the time, they keep on telling me, Liz, look at the words you used to tell me. There is power in the tongue. They are here because of the encouragement I tell them to say, please don't give up. Keep on believing in God and speak the things in your life. When you say, this is my husband, definitely that one is going to be your husband. When you say, I most of the time I say I'm pregnant when I'm not pregnant, because I understand to say, when you speak things, they shall come. into existence. So this is how it is. Believe and speak things every day. You shall become what you speak every day. That's the only thing I can just encourage someone out there.
What a powerful testimony. She had HIV, killed. She was living in poverty, and God has changed her life for the better. This is what I always talk about on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel. I always try to encourage, and I knew that Lizzy's story will encourage you. It will build your life. I've muted her volume because she's having feedback. I knew that the story will build you. It's nothing to do with she married to a white man, but the journey of picking someone who is broke. He has 2 mates. You start a life together, and you start doing things together. They literally built their lives together. So you can even say it's because of him that she's where she is. And on top of that, she's giving back to people in Zambia. That's amazing. So I'll just bring her back for just a minute. Any questions, and then we conclude. Ask any questions, please.
And the other thing, I would also as well. No. Maybe I can also advise, maybe there are people who want to come to Germany as well. There are so many ways that you can come to Germany. Yeah. I have brought my brother here as an au pair. Not because, people, they'll tell you to say it is impossible to bring a relative here in Germany. And for me, having the fact that my brother, he was my brother, I believed in God. I told my friends, most of the time I said it is impossible, but I told my God to say, and my friends, I told them to say, I only say it is impossible when they say visa denied. That's how I say it is impossible. Yeah. So you pray and let God lead. So for me, my brother came here as an au pair. Now he's doing his own things. So you can come to Germany as an au pair from 18 years to 26 years. You can go to Au Pair World there, look for a host, come here, and you might never know what God can do. You can go there. You might never know what. A lot of people have come here in Germany as au pair, and they end up getting married to white people, and some they end up getting also school. They have to go and study and do some other things. So it's not only coming here as married to a white man or whatever. There are other So this is one thing. So if you are in those age, try to go to aupairworld.com.de. Then there you will be able.
aupairworld.de.
Or they can write .com, then they'll see how the things will be coming. But if they want to come to Germany, and for those searching for a man as well, you can go on afrointroduction.com.
We find love different places, and so thank you so much, Lizzy.
Thank you so much,
and I am so proud of you with what you are doing. And as lilymutamztv YouTube channel, we'll also try to keep in here and there.
Thank you.
God is blessing our channel, so we'll also try by all means to keep in where we can on your project in Zambia. So just say bye to the
bye, people. Thank you so much. Maybe there are some people who would want to reach me. You can find me on Facebook. I think my email is Chilambe Elizabeth.
Okay, you know what, Elizabeth? You know what, Elizabeth? When I say bye to you now, you will come to the stream comments now. So you put your email and everything. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. You can actually go to Germany as a MAID. That's another opportunity to raise funds for your business in Africa. We are not saying you stay for good. Me, I want you to live in Africa, because we need to build Africa together. This is what I just wanted you guys to see, that there's many ways of you also to travel abroad. It's not about education. You can meet people. I know the brother. I've seen the brother. The brother is in Germany right now. He went there as an au pair. So whether you're a man, you're a woman, in Germany they need au pair. Let's pray for the coronavirus to end quicker so that the au pair business should come back. And we'll do another live stream separate, just talk about au pair, the websites and everything one of these days, just to encourage you. And I'll also invite one of my friends from Kenya, Martha Finest, who's also an au pair. She also has a YouTube channel. So I'll talk to her on WhatsApp. I'll tell her we need to talk about, because she is really interested. That's how she went to Germany. She went to Germany as an au pair. So I will bring her and do a live stream with her actually, even tomorrow. If you want, just comment. We can do a live stream, a quick 20 minutes. I'll talk to her on WhatsApp. I'll tell her, Martha, can we talk about how people can come to Germany as au pairs? So thank you so much. Yes, Uncle Michael in India says, giving back is good. Yeah, God first. Yeah, very, very good. It's amazing. Please don't forget to subscribe to Lizzy's channel. She's got a lot of amazing content on her YouTube channel. You can ask her questions, and who knows, she might arrange you an oil to take you to Germany. Yes. It's a girl, lilymutamztv, also known as Gelo Wapa Z. Zambia. I'll be bringing you another interesting man tomorrow. Brilliant Pongo. He's a Zimbabwean PhD holder. We are talking about how we need to be proud to be Black. But the thing is, with YouTube, I have to be careful with the wording. That's why, I can't really use certain words because YouTube will pick it up and my stream will be demonetized. So thank you so much. See you tomorrow, same time. Pop, 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 pop. I'll sing for you as I wait for this thing to go. Nangu manchinge.